The indoor practice today is much more comfortable for those of us who don't move around.
Yeah, they said the weather's getting a little better, so we'll be outside tomorrow. You gonna show up tomorrow too?
I'll be there. Yeah, no, it's a nice day. It's supposed to be in the 50s tomorrow. I like this type of weather in mid-December.
Sound good.
All right, well, go ahead, Coach. Go ahead and you're recording. If you have a quick opening statement, then we'll open up for questions. I ask everybody to please queue up in the chat line and for Coach, and then we'll go.
Rivalry week. Our injured players are getting better, a few of them, and we got a little bit more time before game time. We'll need all hands on deck, playing a good Northwestern team. Take your questions.
All right, Jeremy, you're up first. Scott Beatty on deck, and then Matt Stevens in the hole. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Morning, Lovie. I know you're a little thin at linebacker. Had to play Michael last week there. How's he developed there? And what have you seen from Shimon Cooper, redshirt freshman so far?
Shimon Cooper is a young developmental player that's coming along. He'll get more and more time. Michael Marquez has been here a while. He started at strong safety, and really on a lot of the defenses was strong safety or the Sam linebacker. They kind of have some of the same responsibility a little bit. So it's saying an awful lot about Mike's knowledge to be able to do that. He started at safety for us, of course, now to be able to start at linebacker. He played pretty good. We'll see how he goes this week.
And then we don't have to ask you much about this because it's always been pretty good the last couple of years, but the punt game seemed a little off the other day. What's the reasons behind that? How do you kind of fix those things?
Man, you're right. And what was that again? I hadn't heard that question in about 4 years since I've been here. It's tough to have a great day every day. I don't know anyone that has. When I say great day, I mean, we're expecting Blake to put the ball inside the 5 every time, or it's a cloudy day, 10 seconds of hang time, all of that. I know he's excited about playing Northwestern this week, and we'll all get back and be at the top of our game.
Thanks, Lovie.
Well,
all right, go ahead, Scott. You're up, and then Matt Stevens on deck.
Lovie and a few other programs have had a few players decide to opt out here mid-season, late season, whatever, because of COVID and all that. Am I right that nobody is doing that with your program?
Unless you know something I don't know. We're expecting to have everybody that started. Most of the players, we had a few guys that opted out early on. So this late in the season, I think it's but to answer your question, no one that I know of. Everyone that we have that's been with us is still with us.
You have not had the COVID issues that other teams have had, knock, knock. Is that a point of pride, or do you see that as, just good fortune as well?
Well, I think you have to be lucky, and it's good fortune and all of that. But I think it's a little bit more than that, too. I just know that our players have been disciplined about wearing the mask, some of the other things, washing hands, social, all the things we've asked them to do during a long period of time. They've complied. We have great testing, but a lot of people have all the things that we have. But so you have to pat the guys on the back for what they've done. Absolutely.
Thanks, Lovie.
You're welcome.
Lovie, I wanted to clarify something you talked about yesterday about your fourth-year guys that have the chance to come back based off of the NCAA rules. I wanted to ask you, is that something that happens in, say, like an exit interview with the players where they have a conversation with you saying, hey, coach, can I come back? I'd like to come back.
Yeah, that's something that we'll talk about. That's kind of team business right there. So
okay,
you kind of know the rules. We're kind of concentrating on this year's team right now. Next year, take care of itself.
Appreciate it. That's all I had, Lovie. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, Colin, you're up, and then Bob after that. Go ahead, Colin.
Lovie, Jeremy asked you about the linebackers. I also had a question about the linebackers. Milo Eifler coming back. I know he was part of the rotation to start the year, then missed a couple games. Considering the hits you guys have taken a linebacker. One, how important was it to get him back? And two, how did you feel like he looked in his first game back in a couple weeks?
I think he looked like, any player would look, good football player that hadn't practiced a lot in his missed time. But New Life is an excellent football player. When he's healthy, injuries are kind of part of it, but we're a better defense. We're a better team with Milo out there, and hopefully we'll have.
And I know you used a few different guys on defensive line against Iowa. Seth Coleman, though, getting another start last week. What have you seen from him as well that's given you confidence in throwing him out there a few times in some key situations?
Oh, he's got, great ability I think eventually as an outside pass rusher. I mean, he's got to continue to develop strength, size, all of that. But I like the athlete. Like everything that he's done. As I say, he'll continue to get better and better. When we're in an ideal world for us, defensive line wise, we're playing about 8+ guys, and they're all getting reps and they're staying fresh. And I see Seth being a part of that rotation.
Thanks, Lovie.
You're welcome.
Hey, Bob, you're up, and then Joey Wagner. Go ahead, Bob.
Coach, you've been asked before about Pat Fitzgerald. Don't you have a long-time relationship with him?
Yes, we've known each other for a long period of time. I remember when Pat, I think I was a linebacker coach, maybe when Pat came out as linebacker coach in Tampa, I think way back when Pat came out as a player. So followed his career and got to know him, as a coach, as an outstanding coach, great man. I consider him a friend, yes.
Okay, and I take it you're not surprised by the success he's had over the years.
No, not surprised at all. He's a good football coach.
Completely unrelated subject. The Illinois high school coaches are having their clinic. I think it's virtual this year because of COVID. It starts tonight. It doesn't look like Illinois is involved in it this year. Can you talk about that? Why you're not involved? Or
we're getting ready. We have our season right now, so that's what we're kind of concentrating on right now.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
All right, Joey Wagner, you're up. Robert Rosenthal on deck. Go ahead.
Hey, Lovie, good morning. You've talked about the rivalry with Northwestern quite a bit. How did you kind of get indoctrinated into what that rivalry meant? Was there a moment that it was kind of clear to you that this is a big deal for the guys in your program and around your program?
No, I think I know exactly when I got indoctrinated into it. It's when I became the head football coach here. When you're in sports, I assume all of you on this call, on this Zoom meeting here, play sports, high school, or keep going on down. There's something. Everybody has a rival, and basketball, Ali, Frazier. There's a rival no matter what sport you're involved in. One of my grandson, Jackson, who will be at the game this week, is a basketball player. They have a rival. So you're at the University of Illinois, of course, it's Northwestern. So that's when you get it. And if you get in sports, you realize there's somebody that you need to beat. The game's a little bit more important maybe than others.
Who was the rival at Big Sandy?
I was just hoping you would ask that, guys knowing how much I love Big Sandy. See, now y'all got to listen to my Big Sandy stories. All right, there were two. Winona was one. It's about 4 miles away. And Hawkins was the other one. It's about maybe 3 miles away from us. There were 34 in my graduating class. In order for you to be talked about for years to come, you have to do well with your rival game. It's kind of simple as that. Of course, I'm kind of legendary, in high school down there at Big Sandy. So and I wouldn't talk on this unless I really knew you guys like I know y'all right now. But seriously, the rival game, when I was in the NFL, one of the questions I asked the guys always, how did you do against your rival? What was your record against your rival? Because normally you get the best of what someone is, you get on that rivalry game. It's kind of simple as that.
Thanks, Lovie.
You're welcome.
Man, I'm starstruck on Big Sandy. Rob Rosenthal, you're up, and then Jeremy on deck. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, I kind of want to keep the rivalry talk. Ask Lauren who the Monticello rival was or something like that. But I'll switch gears. I'm just curious with your relationship, your long-term relationship with the Northwestern offensive coordinator. As a play caller, does that help? Do you think you know his tendencies? Do you think he knows yours? Is there a little mental battle there?
Well, I know what I'm supposed to say. Yeah, I know Mike, and I know what he's going to do in this situation. But everybody in sports kind of knows someone, that you compete against, and knowing that someone knows you change it up. So you never know what you're going to get. I don't know if that helps that much. I just know that what you need to know, though, when you know someone like that is, I know that Mike Bajakin is an excellent football coach, that he's going to have a plan that's going to be pretty good, real good, and we need to be ready. That's what I know. But guys, back to the rivalry stuff here. I want to know about Lauren. I want you to tell me who your rival was, Lauren. All right. And I really do want to hear this. Lauren, so could you tell me a little bit about
It's real easy. We're 7 miles from B-Mint. They hated us. We tried to take them into our school system. They denied it and went to Cerro Gordo. So they're combined with Cerro Gordo now. But Monticello and B-Mint were always there. And the hardest I ever got hit in football was against B-Mint. They knocked me out.
See, guys, you see what I'm talking about rivalry games? All right. That was a few years ago for Lauren, and he just spit it out just like that. So that's what we're getting ready to go into right now. And again, it's not a rivalry unless both teams are winning. And 5 years is too long.
Robert, do you have anything else?
No, that was all I had. Thank you.
All right, Jeremy and Scott, go ahead, Jeremy.
Mantino, by the way, which I think you have a recruit from there. So that's my rival. I want to ask you a follow-up, Pat. He gets mentioned for NFL jobs, Lovie, and I just don't know. Do you feel like he's that kind of guy that he can be successful at that level, and what would make him that kind of guy?
Oh, I think successful high school coaches turn out to be successful college coaches. I think successful college coaches end up being successful NFL coaches. NFL coaches can come back and be successful college coaches. I think football is football.
Okay, thanks, Lovie.
All right, Scott, go ahead. Maybe the last one.
Sorry, one more, and I'm glad Robert brought it up, because on that theme, is it difficult at all or emotional to coach against good friends? You mentioned, lots of people in sports, they know you, but just, is there an emotional aspect to it, or you kind of just shut that out and do the game?
Oh, I think the complete opposite. I think when you know someone, you love competing with them. My brother and I competed every day forever. And those rivalries were about as intense as anything. I think when you know someone, you want to do your best. It's as simple as that. Afterwards, you'll continue. The relationship is a lot stronger than just one game that time. So I don't think that really plays into it, except for somebody wanting to do well.
Thanks.
Welcome.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Appreciated all the rivalry talk today. It was good stuff. Thank you. Have a great day.
Especially you, Lauren. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Lovie.